Have you ever felt like no one sees your true worth? That no matter how hard you try, your words get lost in the noise of a loud and superficial world? Here's the truth that the greatest leaders in history knew. Your value isn't proven by speeches, but by silent actions that echo like thunder. Marcus Aurelius earned loyalty without raising his voice, while others shouted, he acted. And today, you're going to master the art of being heard without begging for attention, attracting the right people like a magnet. In this video, you'll discover 10 Stoic secrets tested on the battlefield of real life. How to make even a critic doubt their own words without confronting them. The technique used by Roman generals to command respect just by changing their posture. The mistake 99% of people make when trying to be valued, and how to flip the script. But pay close attention. Secret number 3 will surprise you. It reveals how to influence people without losing your integrity, using a principle Seneca called the diplomacy of the strong. If you're tired of being ignored, this is your manual for invisible warfare. Don't skip this video, because a week from now, you could be reaping the rewards of these strategies, or still stuck in the same place, wondering, what if I had tried? The choice is yours, but remember, even not choosing is a decision. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Your first step to stop being invisible starts now. Secret number 1. The art of presenting yourself with dignity. Your appearance is the shadow of your character. Have you ever seen someone walk into a room and heads turn, even without saying a word? That's the power of Stoic dignity. It's not about expensive clothes or fake smiles. It's about carrying yourself like someone who already has value, not like someone begging for scraps. The Stoics believe that how you present yourself to the world isn't vanity. It's respect, both for yourself and others. Marcus Aurelius wrote about caring for your posture and clothing as a moral duty, not superficiality. Imagine 2 equally qualified candidates, one sloppy, the other sharp. Who inspires more confidence before saying a word? Your external image is the first message you send. And the Stoics knew that details matter. A real-world example. You walk into a room with slouched shoulders and wrinkled clothes. Even if you're a genius, people will unconsciously assume you don't value yourself. Now imagine walking in with upright posture and simple but well-groomed attire. Respect comes before your words. This isn't about luxury. It's about aligning your outside with your inner worth. Dignified people attract opportunities even before they start negotiating. Practical exercise. Use the Stoics' mirror test. Before leaving home, ask yourself, does my appearance reflect the respect I have for myself? It doesn't need to be perfect, just intentional. Another habit, get ready even when no one will see you. This trains unconditional self-esteem. As Seneca said, dress for yourself, not for others. Your dignity shouldn't depend on an audience. Why does this change everything? Psychologists call it the halo effect. When one positive trait, like a sharp appearance, makes people assume you're competent in everything else. The Romans used this in negotiations. Well-dressed generals secured better surrender terms without fighting. Ask yourself, how many times have you underestimated the power of an unshakable first impression? But what comes next will change how you deal with people who try to belittle you. Secret number 2 will reveal the tactic used by Stoic gladiators to turn humiliation into silent triumphs, and how to apply it in toxic environments. Secret 2. The Paradox of Unbreakable Vulnerability. Stoic principle, accept to dominate. Epictetus, the slave philosopher, taught that true strength comes from the ability to accept criticism without falling apart. While most people scramble to defend themselves, the Stoic absorbs the attack and returns it as a lesson. Imagine someone laughs at your height. Instead of getting defensive, you calmly agree, yes, and it helps me see who gets bothered by irrelevant things. The aggressor is left weaponless. Real example, an executive was called inexperienced in a meeting. He replied, "You're absolutely right. My fresh perspective brings solutions you seasoned experts haven't seen." The room laughed, and the critic was trapped by his own arrogance. This is the art of using apparent vulnerability as a shield. The Stoics called it verbal jujitsu. redirecting your opponent's force back at them. How to train. Practice strategic acceptance. When criticized, say, "You might have a point," before responding. This disarms the attacker and gives you time to respond with class. Another method, write down 3 sincere compliments for every insult you receive. This recalibrates your focus to what truly matters. Remember, like an oak tree, you may bend momentarily, but never break. The Stoic gladiators trained to fall in a way that allowed them to rise faster. Seneca once said, "The man who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than necessary." Reflect on this. How many times have you wasted energy trying to prove your worth to someone who's already chosen not to see it? True dignity lies in choosing your battles wisely. And in Secret 3, you'll discover the forbidden technique emperors use to read other people's intentions like an open book, without anyone suspecting. It involves a simple eye movement you can start using today. Secret 3, the gaze that unmasks souls. Stoic principle: observe more, speak less. Marcus Aurelius would spend hours watching a fire to train his focus, and today, science proves that 80% of human communication is nonverbal. The Stoics mastered the art of reading people through micro-expressions, posture, and speech patterns. Imagine spotting a liar before they open their mouth, or sensing that someone's into you just by how they hold a cup. That's the power of the Stoic gaze. Practical example. In a negotiation, your opponent crosses their arms and leans back. Instead of pushing, you mirror the move and wait. Minutes later, they lean forward, signaling openness. You've just used mirrored silence, a technique Roman diplomats used. Another example. You notice someone avoids eye contact when discussing future plans. That signals insecurity. No interrogation needed. Daily exercise. Practice listening with your eyes. In conversations, focus 70% of your attention on the person's body language, not their words. Afterwards, jot down, what did their hands, feet, or eyebrows reveal that their voice didn't? Another great drill. Watch people in cafes and try to guess their relationship or job. Your brain will build an intuitive database. Why is this revolutionary? Studies show that leaders who can read body language are 40% more successful in negotiations. Stoics saw this as reading signs from the gods. Reality always leaves clues. Ask yourself, how many opportunities have you missed because you failed to notice what was right in front of you? And in the next secret, you'll gain access to the warrior philosopher's secret weapon, a 3-word phrase that, when used at the right moment, can disarm even the fiercest opponents. It was used to prevent wars and conquer empires, and it's about to be revealed. Secret 4, the 3-word phrase that disarms conflict. Stoic principle: master language, master the game. Stoic emperors knew that some phrases held the power to deactivate conflict like an ancient spell. Marcus Aurelius used a 3-word formula when facing traitors. This too passes. Said with icy calm, it drained power from anyone trying to provoke him. Imagine someone screaming at you, and instead of reacting, you smile and whisper those words. The attacker loses ground, questioning their own drama. Modern example: an angry customer demands the impossible. Instead of arguing, you say, "I understand your frustration," a Stoic 3-word phrase. The magic lies in the delivery: calm tone, steady eyes, no sarcasm. The tone diffuses anger better than any argument. This technique comes from Stoic teacher Musonius Rufus, who said, "The right words, said without the wrong emotion, are invincible weapons." You don't need to win the argument, just preserve your dignity. How to train. Pick 3 short phrases for tense moments. "We'll fix this. You're absolutely right," makes perfect sense. Practice them in the mirror until they sound natural, not robotic. The secret is in the timing. Use them at the first sign of conflict, before emotions escalate. Epictetus warned, "Control your tongue, and you control your fate." How many relationships could you have saved with one well-placed phrase? Why 3 words? Neuroscientists have proven that ultra-short phrases trigger less activity in the amygdala, our fight-or-flight center. They're like verbal switches that shut down tension. Roman senators used them to calm angry mobs. Reflect on this. When was the last time you made a situation worse by saying too much? When a moment of silence or a few well-chosen words could have solved it. But the next secret is so powerful, it was once banned in imperial courts. Secret 5 will reveal how Stoic philosophers trained their bodies to emit invisible signals of power, a technique that still makes people obey you without knowing why. Secret 5. The body language of the gods, Stoic principle. Be the statue of your ideal. The philosophical gladiators trained in specific postures before battles, not to fight better, but to stop battles before they began. Modern research shows that 55% of authority comes from body language. Imagine standing before a hostile crowd and without saying a word adopting the Zeus posture. Feet planted firmly, hands visible and moving slowly, chin slightly raised. Subconsciously, you become untouchable. A real experiment. In salary negotiations, those who sit upright with palms down, the Stoic marble table position, earn on average 20% more. Julius Caesar's left hand always rested on the hilt of his sword, not to strike but to project unshakable serenity. You can apply this today. When entering a room, walk 10% slower than usual. Your brain will interpret this as confidence, and others will mirror it. Secret exercise. Practice the portal ritual. Every time you walk through a doorway, pause for 1 second and adjust your posture as if you were putting on an invisible cloak of dignity. Another technique. When receiving criticism, tilt your head 5 degrees to the side, an ancient gesture that signals wisdom absorbing the impact. Seneca said, "The disciplined body softens the brute soul." The science behind it. This posture increases testosterone, confidence, and decreases cortisol, stress. Stoic athletes like Milo of Croton use this to win without fighting. Opponents would give up at the mere sight of him standing still. Ask yourself, how many times has your posture revealed insecurity before you even had a chance to fail? But none of this compares to Secret 6, a strategy so counterintuitive it seems insane, until you see how it transforms contempt into reverence. The emperors called it the path of victorious surrender, and it will be revealed next. Secret 6, the power of strategic surrender. Stoic principle, yield to conquer. When Emperor Marcus Aurelius faced rebellions, he used the most paradoxical tactic. He gave the rebels exactly what they asked for, but in a way that weakened them. He offered them distant lands that isolated them, or titles that exposed them to envy. This is the law of Stoic surrender. Sometimes giving in is the best way to win. Imagine a coworker eyeing your project. Instead of fighting back, you say, "You're absolutely right. Want to take the lead?" Now the failure is theirs. Modern. Example, a competitor copies your work. You don't sue them, you post, "Honored to be plagiarized, it proves we're ahead of the game." Feigned humility is a masterstroke. The Stoics called this winning by losing, like when Socrates accepted his death sentence and became immortal in doing so. You turn apparent defeats into moral victories that no one can take away. How to apply it? Next time someone tries to publicly humiliate you, agree and exaggerate. Worse than you said, "I'm a total mess at X, but I love learning from experts like you." Sarcasm disguised as humility flips the script. Another method. Assign your critics tasks that overwhelm them. E.g., "I'd love your help on this, since you spot flaws I can't see." The psychology behind it. When you don't resist the attack, the aggressor loses the thrill of the hunt, like lions ignoring dead gazelles. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The obstacle becomes the path when you absorb it without resistance." Reflect, where are you wasting energy fighting when surrendering could make you win? Secret 7, the power of strategic silence. Stoic principle. Speak less, do more. Imagine someone constantly trying to prove their worth through words, over-explaining, justifying every action. The Stoics knew that too much talking dilutes respect. Instead of defending yourself with words, practice strategic silence. When you don't react to every provocation, your presence becomes more mysterious and powerful. Think of Marcus Aurelius. who ruled an empire without raising his voice. His authority came from actions, not speeches. Everyday example. Your boss unfairly criticizes your work. Instead of pushing back in the moment, you take a breath, nod, and say, "I'll reflect on your points." That calm response shows maturity, while most people waste energy on emotional arguments. Silence isn't weakness. It's a tool to show that you don't rely on others' validation. Act as if your worth is already obvious, and others will start to see it. How to practice. Train yourself to pause for 3 seconds before answering questions. Watch how people lean in when you don't rush to fill the silence. Another exercise. 1 day a week. Eliminate unnecessary complaints and justifications. You'll notice how your energy focuses on what truly matters. Silence filters the noise and reveals who actually deserves your attention. Why it works. Neurologically, the human brain associates rare speech with greater credibility. If you only speak when you have something essential to say, every word carries weight. The Stoics called this the economy of language, an ancient persuasion hack. Ask yourself, how many times have you spoken too much and regretted it? Compare that to the times when your silence spoke for you. And what if I told you Secret 8 will reveal how to turn even your enemies into secret admirers? The technique is so subtle, they won't even realize they're being influenced, and you'll walk away with your reputation intact. Secret 8. The art of unshakable presence. Stoic principle, control your emotions, not theirs. Have you ever seen someone who, even in the midst of chaos, remains completely unshaken? That's the mark of a true Stoic leader. They understand that both physical posture and inner calm are contagious. When you're not swayed by criticism or excessive praise, you project an aura of self-sufficiency. Think of Seneca, who faced death with the same serenity as if he were sipping a cup of tea. A practical example. In a tense meeting where everyone is arguing with shaky voices, you keep an upright posture, breathe slowly, and speak in a steady tone. Even without saying much, people instinctively look to you as the anchor in the room. Unshakable presence signals to the primitive brain that you're someone worth following. This isn't about pretending. It's about training your nervous system not to be a prisoner of other people's emotions. Daily exercise, practice the mirror rule. Look at yourself in the mirror for 1 minute, focusing on relaxing your facial muscles and shoulders. Most people carry invisible tension that broadcasts insecurity. Another technique, when you feel a strong emotion, count to 5 in your head before reacting. That small pause breaks the autopilot and puts you back in control. The Stoics taught that tranquility is a choice, not an accident. Epictetus, born a slave, used this principle to become one of the most respected philosophers in Rome. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters." Ask yourself, what recent situation would have turned out differently if you had maintained a calmer presence? But what comes next will challenge everything you thought you knew about relationships. Secret 9 is so counterintuitive, it might be the missing piece to ensure you never feel invisible again. Secret 9. The law of calculated absence. Stoic principle, teach through scarcity. Here's a harsh truth. People only value what they feel they might lose. The Stoics applied this by creating strategic absences, not as manipulation, but as a lesson in value. Imagine a colleague who constantly asks for your help but never gives back. Instead of confronting them, you simply become less available. The space you leave behind reveals your true impact. Real example. An artist used to gift friends his paintings, only to find them collecting dust in forgotten corners. He stopped giving art away for a year. The result? Those same friends started buying his pieces and treating them like treasures. The Stoic lesson? Show your value by removing it, not forcing it. When you disappear without drama, others are forced to face their own ingratitude. How to apply? Identify an area where your efforts are undervalued. Work, friendship, relationship. Pull back your involvement by 30% for a month. Don't announce it, don't explain, just act. Watch who notices and who takes action to keep you around. This isn't about manipulation. It's a filter to reveal who truly deserves your time. Remember, Teaching people to value your presence is an act of kindness, not revenge. Why is this ethical? Because you're not lying or creating false scarcity. You're simply aligning your actions with your self-respect. The Stoics called this inner justice, treating yourself with the same dignity you expect from others. Reflect, where are you becoming cheap by being overly available? And in the final and most shocking Secret 10, you'll discover why the Stoics considered praise the most dangerous weapon of all, and how to use it to dismantle the defenses of anyone who underestimates you. This technique was so powerful, it nearly destroyed Rome, and is just one step away from being revealed. Secret 10, the Stoic praise bomb. Stoic principle: master others' judgment by dissolving it. The Stoics discovered a deadly paradox. When you sincerely praise someone who despises you, you destroy their ability to attack you. Emperor Hadrian used this tactic against envious senators. He showered them with exaggerated honors, making them the target of general envy. Imagine a colleague who constantly belittles your work. You start citing them in meetings. So-and-so helped me see this more critically. They're left defenseless and your gesture even appears generous. Real-life example. A writer once received a cruel review that read, "This is pretentious garbage." He responded, "The critic is right. My work doesn't come close to the brilliance of someone like him." The audience laughed, the critic came off as petty, and the book became a bestseller. This is the Stoic praise jujitsu, using fake admiration as an anchor to drown someone's hostility. You're not flattering, you're forcing the other person to confront their own malice. How to train this? For every backhanded comment, "Your project was interesting," respond with a specific compliment. "Your ability to spot flaws is amazing. Teach me how you do it." Hold eye contact and keep a serious tone. As Seneca taught, nothing disarms cruelty like receiving it with flowers. Make a list of 3 people who underestimate you and prepare authentic, yet strategic, compliments for each one. Neuroscience explains it. Praise activates the nucleus accumbens, the brain's reward center, creating cognitive dissonance in the aggressor. They begin to associate you with pleasure, not conflict. Roman generals used this on rebellious tribes, giving leaders medals before battle, eroding their motivation to fight. Ask yourself, how many rivalries could you have neutralized by turning hatred into psychological discomfort? Conclusion. Pause for a moment and picture yourself a year from now, still invisible, speaking in vain to people who don't listen, wasting energy on those who don't deserve it. The same people ignore you, the same doors stay shut. Worse, you know you could have changed it, but let fear or laziness win. The Stoics knew the greatest regret isn't failure, it's never having tried. Every day you choose a victim mindset is a day stolen from the powerful person you could have become. That pain, it only grows over time. Here's your first Stoic action today. Choose one person who doesn't value you and practice secret. 34, calculated absence. For 7 days, reduce your contact by 50%. Don't explain, don't argue, just act. Watch who puts in effort to keep you close and who doesn't even notice you're gone. This simple test will reveal more about your relationships than years of conversations. Start now. Wisdom without action is just illusion. Share in the comments. Which of these secrets was the most eye-opening for you? Strategic silence, intelligent surrender, or the power of the Stoic gaze? Your experience might be the signal someone else needs to stop being invisible. And if you've ever used one of these techniques without knowing it, tell us how it went. The community needs those stories. If this video showed you even one way to be respected without raising your voice, hit the like button. It helps. The algorithm spread real wisdom. And if you're not yet subscribed, press subscribe, because the next videos will uncover even deeper tactics from these warrior philosophers. Turn on notifications so you don't miss when we launch the secret. Training: master your battles without words. Remember, the world belongs to those who act, with fewer words and more power. See you next time.